Hi everyone. Welcome. Happy Friday. I hope you guys had a good week. We were just kind of in the chat enjoying the fact that it is finally tourist season. This is where Luke and I can finally shine. And Sil is roasting me for being a tourist. She wants to know if I destroy lives regularly because I'm a tourist. No. I can't help that I'm always right. Just if I'm always right and it happens to destroy your life, that's not my fault. We have some folks in the queue already. I see Fatima, I see Luke, and Black Widow. I see you figured it out. So welcome to the queue. Chime May, hopefully I say your name right. Thank you so much. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. Um, so let's get started with the community read. We had a full moon, or new moon rather, sorry. We had a new moon yesterday, so we're still in that like 3-day grace period of tapping into that new moon energy. So let's see what the new moon has for us. What energies are around us as a community as I shuffle the cards. Just know, by the way, I'm using the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So as I shuffle the cards, just focus on yourself, focus on the sound of the shuffling, focus on the energies around you. Let's see what we have as a community. Let's see what our first card is here. Oh, I shuffled the deck upside down. That's fine. We have the path. So this is the waning crescent 6. So this is the crescent right. Oh gosh, the light. This is the crescent right before we start to enter the quarter phase, the third quarter. So this card is the path. So this is about like finding your path. This is which is really nice too with the new moon, because this is where you start to manifest. This is where you start to focus on those new beginnings. And I really like how there's this like cool portal and the ladder, so it's like taking that path into your own hands and just deciding to finally walk down it. So let's see what else we have as a community. And as I'm shuffling, you can use exclamation point join to enter the queue. All right, we have let's see, I can never read these tiny words. We have the waxing gibbous 3. So we went from the waxing crescent to the waxing gibbous. So here we're starting to enter that full moon energy here. And this is about boundaries. So as you are focusing on finding the path that is right for you, and just a caveat, I personally don't believe anyone has any singular path. I just feel like in the grand scheme of talking about the energies of this new moon, we just have a path that is opening up to us. We have an opportunity perhaps, or just a new journey that's ahead of us. That's kind of what I mean by path. As we're discovering this path, make sure you set your boundaries, right? So you're discovering this new thing, you're starting this new journey, this new side of yourself, whatever that might be. Realize that you need to also set boundaries as you do it. So you need to make sure that it doesn't consume you, or that people don't distract you from it, things like that. So being able to set your boundaries, creating your own safe space is going to be very important. So one of the things that you can do within the next like day or two is to just decide, you know, if you kind of have an idea of what this path looks like, decide how you are going to continue down it without being distracted. How can you fall back into that safe space, so that way you can always remain focused on that specific path. Let's pull one more card. One more card. Ooh, we have change. This is the thunder moon. So the thunder moon in this deck is kind of like considered like a major, like think of it as like a major arcana in like a tarot deck. It's a specialty moon. This is the full moon. So I really like how it goes from crescent to gibbous to full, and we're starting to, you know, that's kind of what's happening as we're going from the new moon. So it's showing like the completion of this journey. So the thunder moon is talking about change. So I think this journey, this path that you're down, the whole focus, the whole goal is about changing. Um, this could be changing how things are now, hoping to change how things are in the future, but the goal or the focus overall is going to be about change. So I would say in this new moon phase over the next few days, focus on the things that you kind of want to change, things that you have been meaning to change, but maybe haven't made time for. And as we journey through this new moon to this full moon phase, how can you take those steps to incorporate that change into your life? That change could be about setting boundaries. So we had that middle card here, boundaries. It could be about that, or setting those boundaries is what's going to help you facilitate that change. So it might manifest a little differently for all of us because this is the community read, but just keep those things in mind. All right, guys, I see the queue is filling up. If you would like a more in depth reading as I go through, remember you can use my Ko-Fi link to just send a little tip my way, and that way you can get a more in depth reading and you can skip the queue because we do have quite a few people in it already. So we have first up Fatima. So, Fatima, go ahead, put your question in the chat. And then I'm going to read it off. If you don't hear your name, just use exclamation point join again. I have Luke, Black Widow Row, Chime, hopefully I said your name right, V, Yara, Jasmine, and Leslie. All right. So let's get started. If you and let's see. For the main readings, I'm going to be using the Light Seers Tarot. It's been a while since I pulled it out, but I feel like they pair kind of nicely with with the Light Seers Tarot. So it's only appropriate that we do some moon decks for the new moon, right? And guys, Syl, who is a life full of simplicity, is moderating the chat tonight. If you have any questions, she will be in there to help you out. If you have any trouble, getting into the queue or just have general questions, feel free to reach out to her if I don't see your comment. All right, guys, let's get started. Fatima, do you know your future spouse already? Let's see. Let's see. I usually don't pull 3 cards for yes or no readings because this is a really simple one. And I feel like the answer is already no, but I'm gonna, when I do my live streams, I kind of like to think of some like extra stuff here. So overall, we have the King of Wands in reverse. This is the Nine of Swords in reverse, and the Four of Cups upright. So I think like just overall, definitely, I don't think you've met this person yet. With the Four of Cups at the end of the reading, I think this is saying that you might have had options presented to you, but you have felt that they are not right for you. So you have just been sort of putting them off, right? And maybe not putting them off is the right word, but they're not the correct person for you. There's no connection, that kind of stuff. So I think with the Four of Cups at the end, this is saying like, no, you definitely haven't met them yet. You've met people, met maybe nice people, but not the one. We have the in the middle, we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. This is, I think, the heart of your reading. This is where I kind of worry that you might try to rush into things, only because the Nine of Swords is about feeling like kind of like an inner turmoil. And I wonder if you're like overly worried. And maybe this is more so overly worried that you might have missed your chance with the right person, but I don't think so. I think you're just projecting those worries outward. And I don't think that you really need to, if that makes sense. In the beginning here, we have the King of Wands. This is really complementary to what I was saying before. The King of Wands in upright is actually really like a passionate and creative leader, but in reverse can be very, very impulsive and a little thoughtless. So be careful about not thinking partners through. And this is why, like the whole picture, the too long didn't listen kind of answer is no, you didn't meet your future spouse. But be careful about rushing in because you want it so badly. Make sure you wait on the person that just you have that connection with, because you might have been going through different options of people, might have been dating and going out on dates that maybe aren't horrible, but you don't feel that, like, that spark, you don't feel that connection. So be careful about trying to rush into that, about being impulsive. And then also too, the more like shadow side of the King of Wands in reverse, be careful about being a little ruthless about it too. Sometimes when you feel like some people feel like the clock is ticking, so they have to find a partner. Be careful about letting that make you ruthless in the process of looking. I feel like you won't lean to that, but I always like to just throw that in there just in case. um, but yeah, I think that overall, solid no. I will say too, with the Nine of Swords in reverse, if you feel like this is something that you're feeling a lot of pressure on, or you feel like it's weighing on you very heavily, like this idea of trying to find a future spouse, like the one, try to reach out to someone, ask for help and ask for advice and things to look for, or just how to go about the process to make it easier and just ease some of that burden, so you don't have to hold it all inside. That, especially with that Nine of Swords, holding all of that anxiety and stress inside can be really, really bad and really fuel this King of Wands energy. These two, like swords and um wands, sometimes can be really great. They can be really fueling and awesome, but on the bad side, they can be explosive and not in a good way. So just keep that in mind. I will say no, but don't worry so much about it. You're welcome, Fatima. All right, welcome to the queue, Sherry. Luke, let me know what your question is, love. Luna's here, my cat, so if you hear her, sorry in advance. Make sure you use exclamation point join. So you want to know if you should get to know Brayden more than a friend. Let's see. All right, let's take this one. I would say not at this time. So we have the Three of Wands, we have the Five of Wands, and then we have the Lovers reverse. Like the first thing I see here, and it's probably a little hard to tell with my lights. Let me turn them down a little for you guys. That helps a little bit. This reading has a lot of really red tones. So I feel like there is like this maybe warmth between you guys. There is this like connection, but I think that it needs to grow into a solid friendship. I think there needs to be this, it kind of needs to go through like, go with the course of events that are like the cliche standard, I guess I'll put it. I don't know how to explain that. But so with the 3 of Wands, the 3 of Wands is about growth and expansion. But the thing here with the 5 of Wands, there's this air of competition. So I feel like if you kind of fight against that urge to just, like how fire is, it can just grow and consume. Your goal is not to consume. Your goal is to just grow and expand. So be careful about that. I would say that, almost more so go with the flow and keep things moving. So with all of this like warmth and very fiery energy, there is a lot of action that's going on. But I don't think necessarily the right step is to say, like, hey, let's be more than friends at this stage. But it could be a stage pretty soon, especially with these wands. The 5 of Wands, at the core worries me a little bit because I'm not sure where this tension is coming from. I don't know if it's tension from just you feeling anxious about what the next steps are, or if there's tension in this like friend group or whatever with Braden. I'll say friend group loosely, just this like social group that you have, especially with the 3 of Wands. Threes are usually about community and a group of people. So I don't know that it's just you. And I don't mean that in the sense that someone else is pursuing them. I just mean it in a way like, have you grown the community enough to take that next step, or will it cause conflict? So we have the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers card is, it can be like the cliche, oh yeah, like relationships, blah blah blah, but also it can be about making decisions and having to do that. And in reverse, there's like, so upright, it's like, oh, unionship, partnership, making decisions about that, but in reverse it's about like a disharmony that is happening. The unionship is not working out. So I feel like that this is definitely not the right time to do that. There's like there's definitely a need to grow together. And I think that this is saying, like, to put it simply, I think to put it in really short words is, let things grow naturally, and perhaps you will feel when the time is right. And when you feel like that time is right, maybe come back and reflect again. Maybe pull your own cards, or you can ask me, whatever. But the Lovers in reverse also has this air of needing some self-love. So maybe this is a time to, let things just grow naturally. Go with the flow. And while you do that, focus on yourself a little bit and what your needs are. And maybe that will be reflected back. It's kind of like cyclic almost. Also too, one of the things I recall about the Lovers is there's sometimes this air of miscommunication. So I'd be careful about making, any major changes right about now. Okay, you're Earth, he's air. Yeah, they don't play well together. At least not from the tarot perspective. I don't know about from the astrology perspective. Syl would know better about that. But yeah, I know Earth and air don't necessarily mix well together. They kind of like butt heads a bit. I say this as I have like my mom is a Gemini, my best friend. Uh, a lot of best friends apparently were Gemini. So, as someone who surrounds themselves around Geminis, I know that's exhausting. God love them, but I hate them. So, yeah, there you go. I would recommend maybe not doing that, but yeah, so I know it probably depends on the whole like big three and all that stuff that I'm not 100% sure on. All right, Black Widow, you are up next. I also have Sarah and Bunny added to the queue, so welcome. Oh gosh, June Geminis are so they're fun crazy, and then May Geminis are like scary crazy. Like, oh, let's go rob a bank crazy. It's always the Geminis. I don't know. I will say though, my ex-boyfriend was a May Gemini, and he was really fun. So Victoria, the list thing doesn't work, unfortunately. But I can read off the queue just to let you know. I have Chime is up after this reading here that's on the screen. V, Yara, Jasmine, Leslie, Sherry, Sarah, and Bunny. So if you changed your name recently, yeah, I think you must be V. Yeah, thank you. Streamlabs and YouTube are a little out of sync sometimes. So if you change your name or whatever, it'll show the old one. But yeah, you're good to go. You're on the list. Okay, Black Widow, let's see. Let's see how it would be if you go back to school. How will it be if Black Widow goes back to school? Let's see here. One more card. One more. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, okay. So going back to school, I think. So caveat, I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet. I'm never going to tell you to make major decisions in your life off of me, but I will tell you what I see in the cards. So we have the Two of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the King of Cups. I think just overall to summarize it, I think going back to school would be really beneficial for you, just from what I see here. At the center of the reading, we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands traditionally is about resilience and fighting through and, pushing hard to the end goal. And what I really like in this Nine of Cards specifically, you see like all of these wands, it kind of looks like a fence that she is working her way through, but she is holding on to this wand that is lit on fire and she's standing in such conviction. So I feel like, going to school is not going to be an easy journey. It never is. And anything worthwhile doing is usually never easy, but you will come out of it feeling like you have really pushed through and done something that you can be really proud of and you can really stand tall for having done it. I will say around it, we have the Two of Wands. This is not something that you should just do haphazardly. The Two of Wands is about looking to the future, making solid plans. Um, you know, with the wands in general, wands are about your passion. So focus on your passions. What are your goals? What are the things that make you feel like you have that, just like that spark that will keep you moving and keep you propelling to the future? Um, the twos in general are about making decisions. So at the beginning of this reading, because you're talking about whether you should go to school or, just whatever other plans the universe might have for you, I think this is a decision that you're going to have to make, but you should plan it out. Plan out if you were to go to school, what would that look like for you? How would you achieve that? How would you get the money for it? How would what would you major in? What job are you hoping to get at the end of it? That kind of thing. And then whatever the other option is for you, whatever you meant by the universe having other plans. If you didn't go to school, what do you think your life would look like? What plans would you make out of that? And then at the end, we have the King of Cups. I love the King of Cups. Especially this guy here. It almost feels like, here we're talking about being resilient, having completed, going to school. And then here there's an air of wisdom with the kings. There's a air of just intellect and very much so mindfulness that you get out of out of the kings. And then with the cups are the emotional side. So on the king side, the kings very much relate to that air energy, the swords kind of energy, where it's very thoughtful and very cerebral. But then on the cup side, this is where you start to tap into that emotional side of things. So there's an air of compassion here, and there is there's also, like, if you look at him, meditating takes this discipline, right? So I feel like having gone through this journey, you'll feel like you are in a position to lead. You have the discipline that you need to go forward. You feel like you just have that power, both intellectually and emotionally, to continue going forward for whatever your plans are in the future, whatever that planning stage output was. So I think that the school option looks pretty good for you. Just make sure you plan it out. It should not be a very like impulsive decision. And yeah, it looks good to me. Yeah. So, don't let your ADHD slow you down. Just be honest with your professors. This is not tarot related. This is my opinion. I had plenty of friends in college. I have two advanced degrees. Um, and I've seen the whole gambit of my buddies with different, dyslexia, ADHD, whatever. Don't let that slow you down. Just be honest with your professors. Most of them, I will say 90% of the time, will be very understanding. There are always going to be those jerks that just like, why are you even a professor? So just be honest and you'll get through it. Don't worry. And you're welcome. Chime, you are up next. Go ahead and put your question in the chat. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get a lot of like green lights to start new journeys, Luke, for this new moon energy. That's kind of what it feels like. I guess we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Tap into that, like, resilience of that Nine of Wands energy and find your King of Cups moment. And you got it, Black Widow. You can do it. You'll have to let me know how it goes and what you decided to like major in and stuff like that. Guys, if you're enjoying these readings, give me a like. Helps with the algorithm. All right, while we're waiting for Chime, V or Victoria, go ahead, put your question in the chat. So after Victoria, we have Yara, Jasmine, Leslie, Sherry, Sarah, and Bunny. If I'm missing anyone, then make sure you use exclamation point join, and you will be added to the queue. And remember, if you would like some extra detail from the accompanying oracle deck, or if you're just enjoying these readings and you really want to get ahead of the line, you can use my Ko-Fi link to send a little tip my way. I like how you put it. You're having dinner with that wine cooler. That's what I told my friends about dessert. I'm like not big on desserts because I really am more of a like salty, savory kind of girl. I'm very salty. um, but I always tell my buddies like I'd rather have a glass of wine and drink my dessert. All right, Yara, go ahead and put your question in the chat. Luke, what's your mom making for dinner? And sorry if I'm being like too fast. I forget that there's like a slight delay between my voice and you guys. Uh, I'm not into sweets. I do like chocolate, but selectively. Like, I have to be in the mood for it, and if I have dessert, I would rather it be a chocolate. Like, I want a molten lava chocolate brownie, and then with, like, yeah, Yara, tell me about your dream, and I'll pull some cards on it. Yeah, so I want a molten lava chocolate cake with, like, a scoop of French vanilla on top. That sounds good. But then I can never finish it because it's too rich because I don't eat sweets very often. It's a catch-22. Ooh, homemade tortillas. Oh, you're Caribbean. You did mention Belize before. I have half of my family is Jamaican, so I'm more of that side of the Caribbean where we do a lot of, like, curries and, like, jerk chicken and very aromatic kinda meats and stuff. No problem, Victoria. You can still put your question in the chat. Yara, just give me a few details about your dream, and I can pull some cards on it. It won't be as detailed as I would do a normal, like, dream oh gosh, words, interpretation, but it'll get the job done. All right, Victoria, let's see. It's a really vague question, but let's see what we have. Everything is reversed. All right, so we have the World, the Queen of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So I feel like you should find a job that challenges you mentally, where you get the chance to learn new things. This feels very humanitarian almost, especially with the World card. Uh, with the page, so pages are kind of like the students of the court cards. They are the younger ones that want to learn and grow and try new things. And then swords is more about, you know, that mental, intellectual side of things. So with the page of swords, I feel like this is about like being able to do new things, do different things, a lot of different things. So I feel like in the humanitarian kind of scheme of things, I admit I don't have much experience in humanitarian job market. I'm very much like technical, so I don't know what those jobs look like, but it could be working with different nonprofits. But I feel like it's something that where you could be nurturing. So this can either be nurturing people or nurturing animals. It's hard to tell because this deck doesn't really have many animals or anything in it. It's very much people oriented. But this could be social work. This could be like uh, work. Working for nonprofits that support social programs. Um, this could be whatever you feel like is emotionally fulfilling. But the queen, so the Queen of Cups is this is someone who is like really intuitive as well, and really, so I think I mentioned compassionate already, but no, I said nurturing. So someone who is nurturing, compassionate, and very intuitive. So you need something that will help you, that will allow you to do that, to be that for people, but also learn new things. So maybe a new field. This could also be maybe like nursing as well, because there are a lot of different, I mean, nurses go through a lot of training. They go through a lot of different scenarios. They have to learn a lot. So this does feel kind of like it could be a very like nursing oriented job. Um, what else? I'm trying to think of like my humanitarian friends and what they do. Yes, Luna, I hear you. I feel like too that you Luna just put her entire like my entire finger in her mouth. That was so weird. Um Sorry, Victoria. I'm just trying to think because I was trying to think of examples for you, but if something is popping up for you, maybe you just go with that. I'm just trying to think of examples for you. Overall, to summarize with the world, I think that this is something that you want to be impactful to people. You want to make a difference. So a job that will allow you to do that, where you can tap into that nurturing side of yourself, you can be compassionate towards people, and then also still learn and change and just grow from it. So there's a whole gambit of things you can do, and hopefully at least some of my examples resonated. I'm sorry, I'm very much an engineer, so I am not in that field of public service, so to speak. But I'm glad that worked. Okay. You're welcome. All right, Yara, let's see. Your uncle gave you some jammies. What does that mean? Do you like this uncle? Thank you, Sil. Let's see. Hmm. Here we go. First card. Next card. And one more. I might have to turn my deck up right. Yeah, my deck's mostly reversed now. All right. So we have the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. We have two knights here. I feel like with having two knights, this is about like your dream is about needing to take some sort of action towards something. But let's just start from the beginning. We'll start from the beginning. So we have the Six of Pentacles. Um, the Six of Pentacles I I I like that this popped up because your uncle was giving you something in your dream, and the sixes are, or the Six of Pentacles rather, is about being very generous and giving. So I feel like this is just a sign that you're in a period of giving, whether that could be giving back or people giving to you. And if you're not used to that, maybe it's kind of weird. So it's manifesting in your dreams, I guess. But the thing about pentacles are earth energy. There's this stability that is happening, and pentacles in general can oftentimes be associated with wealth. So, maybe in your dreams it's manifesting as pajamas, but in reality, maybe there is some money that's coming your way that your uncle might be helping you with. So, on the the next two cards, we have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Swords is a combination. So, knights in general kind of have that, they embody that fiery energy of the wand. So, they have that passion, they have that drive, they have a lot of movement to them. They are always like, usually, they portray a lot of movement. Cups and Pentacles, a little less so, but they are still, their goal is to be moving and going and, you know, attacking something with all their might, that kind of thing. So the Knight of Swords in the middle here, this is the card of ambition. Um, this is where you are being, you have ideas, you have things that you have been thinking about and you want to reach towards them. I don't know what the pajamas specifically mean. I feel like maybe this is just a representative of you receiving the goals, or not goals, receiving the achievements and stuff that you have been putting out into the world, right? But on the flip side, we have the Knight of Cups. But the Knight of Cups, again, we still have that fiery side. So this is fire and air, which is where we get a lot of movement. We get a lot of action. Fire and air kind of fuel each other and make this huge flame that can go forward. On the other side, we kind of have this soft fire and cups where water will kind of dampen a little bit of that fire, so it makes it a little more temperate. It's more like a smolder. So the Knight of Cups, converse to the Knight of Swords, is all about idealism and just you have these thoughts and you have these like ambitions and you really are working on processing them and how to move forward. And I think that they complement each other really well because there's this balance that ends up happening. So in your dream, you're getting some stuff in, right? You're getting something physically from your uncle, like in your dream it's pajamas, but maybe it's gonna manifest as something else. And then you I think it will enable you. It's almost like these are a little disconnected, but not in a bad way. I feel like this is something that you're receiving, so that way it can embolden you to push forward to your dreams, your ambitions, your goals, whatever that is, and it can help you tap into things that are more emotionally fulfilling, um, that maybe you didn't have the resources to do previously. So maybe it's a sign that there are things coming towards you. Uh, that your family, particularly maybe your uncle, if he represents something to you important, it could be, there could be more. I'm trying to get more out of three cards in a dream reading than I normally would. But I think that overall it's a good reading or a good dreams rather. So don't be worried about that. It's nothing weird, it seems. I think that ultimately it's just, you're getting some resources that are going to help you in life. That is how I would summarize it. Yeah, so if you have something you've been kind of hesitant to take action towards because you don't have the resources, then maybe this is a sign that you might get them. And it might not be from your uncle. Your uncle might just be a familiar face to you know what? Hold on one second. Oh, I don't have my dream book in here. Okay, one second, guys. I'm gonna Okay, I'm back. So, let's see. We have this is my little dream book. I'm just curious to see if it doesn't go into like uncles, but it does talk about family members, and it says that it can symbolize like the aspect of your relationship and your overall bond with that person. So they can be a symbol of comfort and security. And let's see what else. Yeah, they can be a comfort and security with the Six of Pentacles, that is an element of comfort and security, and pajamas is an element of comfort and security because it's clothes for yourself. Oh. Oh, you wanna be in the same field as his job, how interesting. Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna give you the resources in terms of, like, being able to give you tips on how to break into the field, or maybe he'll refer you to the job, that kinda thing. Yeah, it's kinda cool. Yeah, thank you, Luke. That's exactly what my book said. Alright, Jasmine, let's see what EH is feeling about you. How is EH feeling about Jasmine? So we have the Sun in reverse, King of Wands, and the Three of Cups in reverse. I don't think that he necessarily feels anything towards you. Um, so with the there are a few things going on. So with the Sun card, I think the Sun is even in reverse. The Sun is a pretty positive card, just in general. It's just more so of an internal thing versus external. So externally, the Sun could have represented a really happy vibe towards you and blah blah blah. But in reverse, it's more so them thinking of themselves. So EH is, you know, working on their glow up, really, like trying to feel that inner warmth, working on their own optimism of the world, how they see the world, their own perspective. They were working on building themselves up. And I think that they are hoping to get to their like King of Wands era. So the King of Wands is that really just inspiring leader. They're trying to get to that just that that creativity that comes with leading, that creativity that comes with the element of wands, and just really starting to come into themselves in that regard. But then we have the Three of Cups in reverse. So this is where I feel like they are just working on themselves. So threes are in tarot are about that community and that entire like circle, whether it be a social circle or whatever it may be. But in reverse, it's not wanting that. They are finding solitude and comfort in themselves. So I don't really think that EH feels anything important anyway. I think they are working on themselves. Their focus is inward. They're not looking too much outward, and they're just trying to work on work on this King of Wands era here. So yeah, I don't think too much. I wouldn't think too much of it, at least not right now, Jasmine. Let me see if there's anything else. Trying to think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. You're welcome, Jasmine. And you're welcome, Yara. All right. I am going to close the queue. Everybody who's in it is in it. You're good to go. Don't worry. Up next, we have Leslie. So, Leslie, go ahead, put your comment in the chat. Followed by Leslie, we have Sherry, Sarah, Bunny, and Infotainment. You made it just in time. And if you guys enjoyed my readings or something pops up and you would like to actually book a reading with me, you can do so using my Ko-Fi link that just popped up in the chat. So you can just follow this link here if you would like to book a reading with me. Let's see what is coming up. Leslie. Let me get a nice shuffle going. Whew, light to your shuffles really well. I love it. All right, what's coming up for you regarding love? Oof, goodness. Let's see. One more card. One more card. So we have the Two of Cups, we have the Hanged Man, and then we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like that if you have been focusing on a specific type of person and you're hoping that they have a certain amount of resources, whether that be money or, just assets or things like that, cars, houses, whatever. I think your perspective on that is really going to change. Um I think that you are going to realize that maybe the things that you've wanted in the past are not what you want in the future. And I think someone is going to come into your life that really changes that perspective for you. So you have the Two of Cups, and this is about partnership and unionship. Twos can be about making decisions. So there might be a little bit of a decision that you have to make in there, but it is also about balance and duality and partnership. So with the Two of Cups, I think that you will have this like connection coming. Uh Between the Hanged Man and the King of Pentacles, I don't think it's necessarily going to be soon though. I don't think that it's right around the corner. Cups is really slow moving energy, like months, and then the Pentacles is even slower. So I think, maybe in a few months you'll start to see someone who changes your perspective on how you see things. Um, so we talked about that change in perspective. That's really where this Hanged Man comes in. There's This means that you kind of have to let go of whatever what's the word? Whatever conceptions you had before. One second, my cat wants uppies. Come on, Luna. Come on. Say hi. um you'll have to let go of whatever preconceptions, is that a word? I feel like that's a word. Whatever preconceptions you had in terms of what your relationships look like, you'll have to kind of let that go, surrender it, let it go to the wind, because this person is really going to change how you perceive things. uh the King of Pentacles in reverse, I think, is not usually in readings like this. I feel like, let me pull one more card actually, because I think the King of Pentacles is more so how you the things that you start to let go in regards to relationships. Ugh, Luna makes it so hard to shuffle. Okay, hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Can you sit down like a normal girl? Come on. Good girl. All right, so let's pull one more card. One more. Okay, we have the Two of Wands. I have like the whole gambit here almost. So, yeah, you're totally welcome. So the King of Pentacles is not, I don't think it's referring to the type of person necessarily, but it's talking about the aspects of yourself that you let go of. So maybe with this person, money or status is not necessarily so important as you thought it should be. Maybe they are not in the same position in life as you are. They're not quite as far along career wise or school wise as you are. Or if you're a homeowner, maybe they're a renter, something like that, where you guys are maybe part of two different worlds, but you realize that that's okay. The Two of Wands is the planning. So sorry, I'm juggling a cat now. She's my alarm clock. She's like, all right, you got to get off now, Mom. I'm done sharing you with the internet. The Two of Wands is the card of like planning and looking to the future. So I think that whoever comes into your life, that starts to change your perspective of these things is someone that you can start to see yourself with for a long time. And maybe it's because they start to challenge you and change that perspective. And you realize, like, oh, okay, like maybe I put too much priority on things that were not as important as I thought they were. And because of that, you can start to see yourself with them. Interestingly enough, you have two and two here in the beginning. So I feel like in the beginning, things will kind of start off a little bit of needing to make a decision, but there's this air of balance. And then still finishing off with needing to make a decision. But again, there's this air of balance and serenity. So I don't think that it's any stressful decisions. It's just maybe thoughtfulness that is going on. I think overall, though, this is really nice because you kind of have like a little bit of a challenge coming to you, but not a stressful challenge. It's just like a challenge of oneself and one's like perspective of what they want in relationships. Uh-oh. Sherry, you're up next. Oh, okay. It did do it. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, Leslie, Luna. So I have Luna and Apollo, and Luna is a lap cat. She's a mama's girl, and she just jumped down because she's like, I'm I'm over it. Yeah, good luck, Leslie. You're welcome. What kind of cat do you have, Leslie? I have two black cats. Yes, she is very much a lap cat. Sometimes to a fault. Like she'll just jump on guests without their like, she'll just jump on them without them even realizing she's there, and she like freaks people out all the time. Oh, I love rag dolls. They're so cute. Oh, of course. Well, I mean, of course, what cat is not king or queen of their own house, right? Luna and Apollo, I think, if I didn't give them food, I don't think they would even need me. All right, Jerry, let's see what's coming up in love for you. What is coming up for Sherry in love? Ooh, okay. Well, I will take this card then. And one more. All right. Oh yeah, for sure. The cats are always the bosses. My cats like to boss people around when they are cat sitting because I'm the boss in the house, but when other people come and watch them, they act a fool. They take full advantage of my mom when she cat sits. Yeah, Luke. I have small hands, but with the light tier stack, it's pretty easy to shuffle. Cards aren't too thick, the deck's not too big. It's perfect. All right, let's see what is coming up for you, Sherry. We have the Seven of Swords, we have the Seven of Cups, and then we have the Ace of Wands. So I always struggle with my tarot numerology. So give me a second. I'm going to look this up for you because you have two sevens. So the sevens are about reflection, assessment, and knowledge. So let's keep that in mind while we do the reading. Let's start in the middle. We'll start in the middle. We have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is about opportunities, but not always good, not always bad. They are opportunities that are just being presented to us, and it is up to us to decide what is good for us and what is bad for us. And I feel like on opposite sides of this is how this could play out. So on one side, we have the Seven of Swords, which is the card of deception, which leads me to believe that, this could play out in a few ways. But what comes to mind first is basically inviting someone into your life that is not good for you and someone who will just deceive you. But then there is also the other side where it's more internal, especially with that swords element, where you are self-sabotaging, where you actively know someone is not good for you, but you seek them out anyway, or you accept them in anyway, knowingly accepting that they are not good for you in whatever way. On the other side, we have the Ace of Wands. This is the side that we want to lean towards. This is the side that you want to consciously push towards. The aces are new beginnings. This is starting something new, starting something fresh. And with the wands, this is excitement. This is like that new spark. This is bringing new passions into your life. The Ace of Wands is like saying like, oh, you have this someone that just really fuels your fire, so to speak, is a really good way to say it. So I think that what this reading is saying that you soon, actually, I won't say soon, you will, in a few months, I'll put it, be presented with some options. So different people, if you're dating, some are not going to be so good. You either will be aware of it or you won't be aware of it. And that means you need to figure people out. And then on the other side, you will have a really good connection with someone that really just lights that fire under your butt and really fuels that connection. So I feel like if you get to this point and you're not sure, you can always check back in. I feel like some people rely on tarot too much, but there's no reason that you can't check back in a few months. And if you want to do that more privately, like if there's something more specific you don't want to do on live, you can always reach out to me on Ko-Fi and we can do a private reading. All right, let's see. Sarah, you are up next. Leslie, thank you. Yes, Light Tears is coming out in Pocket Edition. I don't know the release date, but I believe that is going to be through Hay House. Correct me if I'm wrong still. So you can subscribe to the to Hay House's newsletter. That way you can be up to date on all of their stuff. Or if you're more so the social media side, you can follow them on Instagram. Yeah, Miley, sorry, my queue is closed for the night. You can, subscribe so you don't miss the next live. But I usually start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can Google that and see what that time is in your time. All right. Bunny, you can also go ahead and put your question in the chat. And after that, we will have info entertainment. I don't know why. I want your name to be infotainment so badly. So guys, if you enjoy tarot, not just readings, Priscilla, A Life Full of Simplicity, and I are going to be doing a dual live stream where we go through a tarot tag, and we are doing that on, correct me if I'm wrong, Sil, we're doing that on the 21st of May. Yeah. Okay, good. 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, infotainment, go ahead, put your question in the chat. It'll be on the 21st, so I guess technically Gemini season, but we can't win them all. Welcome back, Luna. She's glaring at me from the doorway like, if you don't get off of there in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to act up. Okay. What's coming in regards to info entertainment career? You have decisions, decisions, decisions. You don't have anything definitive. I think that you have to go through a period of again, I am just a girl slinging cards in the internet, right? So, take this with a grain of salt if you need to. At the center here, you have the Three of Swords. I feel like you're not necessarily going to find something that really just sparks any ounce of joy. It's not something that is going to be fulfilling at all, and a lot of the things that comes up with the Three of Swords is just this air of disappointment, and there's even, I mean, it could be a harsh card in terms of like grief and stuff like that. So maybe some opportunities just really don't work out for you. This could mean not getting, jobs that you apply for, not getting referred for interviews, or maybe not doing so well with interviews. And um I think at the heart of things, maybe that can be really hard on you for the next, few times. I know I'm almost done, Apollo. We have the Two of Swords and the Lovers. This is telling me that you do have some decisions to make. If you feel like you have already made those decisions, maybe you should go back and reflect on those decisions that you made in the past and see what's right for you. The Two of Swords is specifically more so about making difficult decisions. So I think in terms of your career, maybe no matter what option you choose, it's just not right for you right now. And this could be the phase of things where things just are not clicking, they're not quite right. And this is just going to have to be a stepping stone for the next phase of things. It's just kind of like, you know, something we kind of all go through, something that is not fun, but it's just part of growing oneself. At the end of it, though, like, even though, so you kind of go through this, we do end on a little bit of a high note here with this Lover's card. The Lover's card, even though there is that air of still needing to make decisions, you have some choices ahead of you, there is this air of harmony that happens. So I think you have to go through a little bit of trial and error, trying to figure things out, where you fit in, having to accept some losses in terms of lost opportunities, and uh, going forward with the right choices after that based off of that experience. Honestly, I would say that it is the near future. We have the Two and Three of Swords. Swords are very quick moving. I would say probably over the next few weeks, honestly. Wands is the quickest, so that's more so like days. But so yeah, next few weeks, I would say that you start to feel all of this happening. The lovers, though, with the lovers card, this is something that I think it's saying, even though you're going through this, this is going to impact you in a way that is long lasting, and it's going to really affect your life in a more influential way than like perhaps this two of swords will. So keep that in mind. You do still have a bit of like upswing here, especially I like that it's at the end. So you have a little struggle here, and then you kind of have like an upward trajectory that's starting to happen. So kind of take the good with the bad is what's going on here. Oh, bone reading. Okay. Move this out of the way. Just a general reading. Oh no. Okay. Move some stuff out of the way. All right. So you would just like a general reading, bunny. General reading for bunny. All right. So, since you're unfamiliar with bones, the way that I read mine is sort of like sequentially from here and going out. So, this is kind of like the flow of a little bit of the flow of time, but also the proximity to the self. So, just to keep that in mind. 1 second. So I added some dice to my readings, and I always like to double check to make sure I'm saying the right things. Let's move some things around so I can see them. So this is 56. Sorry, I have butterfingers. Or was that 59? Oh no, it doesn't matter actually. So I'll just make it 59. Whatever. It doesn't anything above 50, it doesn't matter. All right. So here we have the this die is a D4. So right now this is representing this kind of cluster here is representing air. This is where we kind of are in more of the mental phase, and maybe this stuff here is affecting you mentally, and then this kind of just flows on from there. So we'll just kind of talk about that for a little bit. So it looks like that if you are trying to work on things spiritually, you have your spiritual team, whether that be deities, gods, ancestors, whatever that looks like. You have a team that is trying to help you see a little bit of a new horizon in terms of your finances and your resources here. You also have some friends that have been helping you. Maybe if you have connections that are trying to help you get a job or trying to get you into school, that kind of thing. Those friends are really putting in the work because you are at the end stage of this. So, this is saying that you have something either financially or just some sort of physical resource that is coming towards you that you are going to sort of see in a new light. Um, it might take a while for it to manifest, but the process of trying to get it is starting to wrap up. So you might not see it actually come to fruition for a few months. We have this 11 here, so it could take up to a year to see that. Um I do worry though that you have some opportunities that really have just you've been kind of pushing towards, but they are not manifesting in the way that you're hoping. They've just been giving you a lot of disappointment in that regard. So if you've perhaps had some things financially in the past that just really you thought were going to pan out or work out in your favor for whatever reason, it really didn't. And you're kind of holding on to a little bit of that negativity, and it's starting to fuel some fear in terms of being able to accept changes in the future. So just be a little careful about that. I think this fear could also manifest in terms of your family, how you interact with them or how they're interacting with you. So just be careful about pushing them away. They are, they are there to help. They're not, they're a little separate from all of these issues. So don't push them out. You need to work on finding what it is you really want out of the changes in your life. What is the truth behind that? And start to tap into that. I think that it will help you open up. I think it'll help relieve a lot of that mental anxieties that you have been having in regards to that, and a lot of that, the disappointment and the negativity that you've been feeling. I think that will help you release some of that. It seems like you're still a little on the fence about opening yourself up to people. Um, Relationship wise, you're wanting to, maybe making some efforts to do it, but you haven't all the way. If that's something important to you, just know that that's, something that's going on. Over here, we have a little bit of stress, a little bit of, inflexibility, but I don't think that it's actually too bad. Especially, so I feel like what it looks like is the things that are going on down here are going to start to overshadow this negativity that you feel here and eventually relieve some of the stress that you have here. Um, this stress and inflexibility are separate, but still very close to yourself. So this is your self bone here. So I think what is going to start to happen, what you're going to start to see is that things are going to start to unravel a lot of that anxiety and pull them off of your shoulders. And you'll be able to just open yourself up more and separate yourself from that going forward. So I actually feel like this is a really nice general reading. You have a lot of things going on. I think overall, this situation here, so this situation here where I described that sort of like disappointment and negativity surrounding the things that were going on, it was either like 56 or 59. Either way, that is an external issue, but it's not a huge external issue. It's nothing that can't be resolved easily. Um, so anything under 50 is internal, anything above 50 is external. But once you start to, but if you're in the low 50s, it's an easy external thing that's going on. So I would say, just find ways to incorporate this growth here. You're a little separate from this as well. Find ways to bring growth and movement into your life as well. Uh, Try not to separate. And even if it's, subconscious, try not to separate yourself from moving on. And that stems from discovering the truth of these changes, allowing changes to come into your life because they're not all bad. Yeah, so that was your bone reading. Not everything necessarily is prevalent, just to explain how bone readings work. This one's pretty separate, but it's fine. This is pretty separate, but it's fine. These are kind of amplifiers in terms of the reading. uh Let me know if you have any questions, Bunny. No, that's okay. And sometimes it doesn't, with the bone readings, it can, I've had people come up to me later and like, "Oh, yeah, I totally get it." And if it never does, it's fine as well. Sometimes it just doesn't connect. But, thank you for joining. Alrighty, guys, I am gonna finish up. My cats are, I like, they're boring a hole into the side of my head because they're staring at me. So I will catch you guys next time. I will be out next week because I have a dodgeball tournament that I'm going to. Actually, I might be out for the next 2 weeks. So if you guys want to see me some other day, let me know what day works for you guys. I don't know. I don't know how to be flexible in that. All right, guys. I will catch you guys on the flip side. You have a great new moon, and you'll have to let me know what kind of things you are manifesting, what kind of things, if you caught the collective reading. Let me know what kind of things, what kind of path you're walking down for the new moon phase. Alrighty, guys, I will see you soon. Bye.